That's right, Celtics fans. Celtics are in the NBA Finals, getting ready to face the Golden State Warriors. If you want Boston to win this team, if you want to support this squad, then go ahead and like the video. I said win this team, win this series. I'm all flustered because the Celtics are back in the finals. Hit that thumbs up icon, and don't be the person who didn't like it and, Celtics losing 6. You don't want that on your conscience, so go ahead and like the video if you want the Celtics to win the NBA Finals. Boston Celtics today is presented by Aura, an all-in-one digital safety provider. It's going to keep you guys covered from hackers online. We'll tell you guys a little bit more about them later on in the show. Get a free trial, aura.com/chatsports, and check them out. Okay, let's get into some rumors here. Could the Celtics trade for Kristaps Porzingis? Well, NBA Analysis cooked up a trade that would send Porzingis to Boston. He, of course, was a midseason trade from the Dallas Mavericks to the Washington Wizards this year. And let's just call this what it is. KP has not been the same guy, the unicorn that he was named by Kevin Durant since he left the New York Knicks, since he had that torn ACL. He certainly had moments in the NBA bubble. He was fantastic a couple of years ago before he got injured yet again. But the reality is he's been banged up a lot and hasn't been the same player. So let's break down this trade from NBA Analysis, and then I'll give my analysis on it. KP to the Celtics for Payton Pritchard, Derrick White, Daniel Tice, a first and a second in 2023, and a second this year. No, absolutely not. Now, I would still argue that Porzingis is the best player in that trade, but 3 players, a first and 2 seconds for the often injured Kristaps Porzingis? No, that makes no sense for where he's at this point in his career and for the contract he's currently under. Here's what NBA Analysis had to say about this. He's a complicated player to put a value on. He's capable as a elite floor spacing at 7'3" and always functions as a high-end rim protector. Not really true anymore. At the same time, the shooting is inconsistent. Ability to defend in space is poor. Many of the best defensive big men in today's league are more versatile than the original unicorn. More significantly, he's injury-prone. Porzingis has not been able to play for 70 or more games since his rookie campaign. That's been the biggest factor in holding him back from his immense potential. So they cook up that trade, and then they basically say, don't make the trade. Yeah, I agree. Don't make the trade. Robert Williams has rounded into form as an excellent defensive center who's still improving offensively. You don't need Kristaps Porzingis. He doesn't make you a better team. On paper, if you knew he was going to play 70, 75 games and give you this, sure, 20 and 8, and a guy who can shoot from 3, didn't shoot it great this year, but who is very capable. Yeah, on paper, that's fantastic. This isn't NBA 2K, though. This is real life, and Kristaps Porzingis gets hurt all of the time. He's unreliable when it comes to availability, and that is the most important ability in the NBA. He can't stay healthy to save his life, and it sucks because he's an all-time talent, I believe, but the reality is when you can't get on the basketball court because you can't stay healthy, what else is there to say at the end of the day? So Kristaps Porzingis, I don't think trading for him makes sense. I think Washington wants to keep him anyway and see what he can do with Bradley Beal. So would you make this trade, the one that NBA Analysis cooked up? Type N for no, type HN for hell no. I'm typing my HN down in the comments section because I don't want anything to do with Kristaps Porzingis. Now, we told you guys about Aura off the top, an online digital safety provider, because, guys, hackers have never been more prevalent than they are now. I get attempted hacked all the time. My Twitter got hacked in college, and I lost it. If that happened now with 4,000 followers, I would be pissed. And Aura protects you from all that. Financial fraud protection. I do all my banking online. So do a lot of you guys probably. Identity theft. Guys, these people are going after your identities left and right. Don't believe me? Believe me. It's a fact. Online and device security. What does that mean? Your email passwords, your social media passwords, just simple logins to other things that you do on the internet as well. Amazon. We do shopping online. Everything is done with this now. And if you want to protect it, go to aura.com/chatsports. We got a 14-day free trial for you guys, plus family protections up to 5 people as well. It's a fantastic deal with Aura. I've been using it for the past couple of weeks, and I feel way more secure. And I'll be honest, even I underestimated how much hacking and cyber, hacking and all that stuff was going on. Aura gives you updates. They let you know if there's unusual activity, and you feel much more secure. Aura.com/chatsports. Check the comments, check the description for Aura free trial today. All right, more trade rumors. How about trading for Jerami Grant, as Grant trade rumors have been swirling really for a couple of years now. He's been kind of one of those popular guys that's been linked to potential trades. It's unclear if the Celtics will shake things up this offseason, as they're obviously gearing up for an NBA Finals series. But he's a guy that fits with a lot of teams because he's a great 3-and-D player. So here's a couple of trade ideas that have been floating out there. Jerami Grant to the Celtics for Derrick White and Grant Williams straight up. 6 months ago, I'd say hell yes. Right now, you know what? Grant Williams, with the way he's emerged, getting more minutes in some games than Robert Williams, kind of makes it tough. His emergence does throw a wrench into things. I like Grant Williams a lot. Again, Jerami Grant's the best player in that trade, but Derrick White, he had a huge game in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. He's been a nice role player. Grant Williams is a nice role player. You're basically trading 2 really good role players for like 1 starter level player, low-end all-star. You could go either way. I kind of value the depth, though, when it comes to this team. Who wins this trade? What do you think? Boston or Detroit? Type BOS for the Celtics. Type DET for the Detroit Pistons. I would probably keep White and Williams if I were the Celtics. One more trade idea here. Grant to Boston for Derrick White, Payton Pritchard, and Aaron Nesmith, and a 2023 first. Now, I know you're giving up a first in this one, but I would be more inclined to make this trade because you're not giving up 2 really good role players. I get Payton Pritchard's a decent player as well, but if I had to pick out of these 2 ideas, I would go with this one. Now, we should talk about Grant the player himself in terms of how he can fit. This is a guy that can score 18 to 20 points, space the floor, and be an absolute dog defensively. The reason I would hesitate in general at these trades, though, is you already have a damn good defense if you're the Boston Celtics. This is already probably the best defensive unit in the NBA. Sure, you can always get better, but if anything, you need more offense. And sure, Grant's going to provide some of that as well. But do you want to sacrifice some depth just to get another defensive dog in here? I don't know. I think it's a fair question up for debate, which is why I ask you guys. Should they trade for Jerami Grant this offseason? Type 1 for yes, type 0 for no. I'm probably standing pat with what I got and maybe adding some minor pieces to my bench if I'm Boston. Maybe this finals will determine on how they feel on some of these trade ideas. How about trading during the NBA draft, as some rumors have circulated around that as well. There's a report out there that Aaron Nesmith could be on the trade block, which makes sense because he hasn't really reached his potential up to this point. He's kind of fallen short of being a top 15 pick a couple of years ago. I mean, you look at the numbers this year, they kind of speak for themselves. 4 points, less than 40% from the field, less than 30% from 3, whereas when he was coming out of Vanderbilt, he was kind of billed as this elite 3-and-D guy, and A, he's been hurt quite a bit, and B, the three-point shot hasn't been there. So that has not lived up to the billing. So what do you think? Should the Celtics trade Aaron Nesmith and maybe try to use him as a chip for another piece? Type T for trade, type K for keep. Hey, if you can get something in return for him, I'd be open to that because he just has not shown that much up to this point. T for trade or K for keep. Let's get into an NBA Finals preview here on Celtics Today as Game 1 is set for Thursday night. Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors should be a classic. I mean, you've got an all-time franchise historically in Boston. Golden State, who's kind of the face of the NBA over the last decade or so. So, kind of 2 different historic franchises from that aspect as Boston looks to take down Golden State. And before we kind of get into the X's and O's of this, let's just be honest with ourselves. This will be a tough challenge. This will be the toughest challenge yet that the Celtics have faced. But you know what? They've passed every test so far, and they've done it in some cases with flying colors. Now, you think about what's going to make this tough for the Celtics. Obviously, Steph Curry. who's having a tremendous playoff run, 26 points, shooting the ball well from the outside, had his best three-point shooting series against Dallas as well, so he's found his groove from out there. Klay Thompson looks as good as he's looked since returning from his two major injuries that caused him to miss over 2 years of basketball. And, you know, that's just kind of the start. The Warriors have a ton of weapons. Andrew Wiggins has emerged as a really good two-way player who can defend at a high level and score the basketball as well. We know what some of these other pieces can do for Golden State as well. Draymond Green is a facilitator. I'm completely blanking on the guy off the bench. Jordan Poole, thank you. He could drop 30 on any given night. This team goes 5, 6, 7, 8 deep. There's been chatter Andre Iguodala might return. We'll see what happens there. But you can't just shut down Steph and be like, oh, we're good. That's not how it works. Jason Tatum, he's going to have to be special. He needs to average 30-plus in this series. He needs to play at a high level, and he might do it. He's averaging 27 in the playoffs up to this point. Jaylen Brown's been pretty good. He's kind of been all or nothing. He'll drop 28 one game, then he'll drop 12. So, you know, find a little bit of consistency if you are Jaylen Brown. But these two dudes are going to need to probably outplay Steph and Klay for the Celtics to win this series. So there you go on that front. All right, some keys to victory for the NBA Finals. Number one, limit big runs. Golden State can go on a 15-0 run like that. That's just what they do. That's what they're capable of. You got to shut that down. You know, 6-0 run, 8-0 run, take a timeout, regroup, limit those double-digit runs because that's how they get out and run out on you, and all of a sudden you look up, you're down 20 points. Number two, Jason Tatum, like I mentioned, he's going to have to average 30-plus in this series. That's the reality. If you want to win an NBA Finals, you got to have the best player in the series. Tatum's going to have to be that. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I think he's up to the challenge. Can he do it over a best-of-7 against Golden State? We're about to find out. Number three, forced turnovers. Golden State does turn the ball over at a high rate, but the last couple of games against Dallas, they played clean, and if they're not turning it over, they are so hard to stop, even for a defensive juggernaut like the Boston Celtics. Got to get turnovers, and you got to score off those turnovers at the end of the day as well. So some keys to victory for Boston heading into this series. So who you got? There you have it. That is the preview of Celtics and Warriors. We had a deeper preview on the channel from Chase Sr. You guys could check that out. In the videos tab, it went up on Tuesday. Type C for Celtics, type W for Warriors. Who you got in this best of 7? That's going to do it for Boston Celtics today. Go ahead and subscribe. More videos to come, both throughout this series and, of course, some offseason rumors that continue to circulate as well. YouTube.com/CelticsTV. We'll see you soon here on Celtics Today.